Hello students, I am Anu from Canadian Academy and today I will be discussing an IELTS Task 2 which is extremely important and a different one. So maybe it's a tough one as well for the students. So listen carefully and definitely you will be able to understand everything out there. So I'll explain the phenomena first, that what is the phenomena behind this statement. Euthanasia will be explained at first. So let's start. So euthanasia is a medical practice in which a patient is killed intentionally in case of terminal illness or life-threatening illness to limit the suffering of the patient. So euthanasia एक medical practice है जिहदे विच patient ਨੂੰ intentionally ਜਾਣਬੁੱਝ ਕੇ death कर ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ है because of terminal illness या फिर life threatening illness the cases which जिस तरह cancer patient. So if a cancer patient is on the 4th stage and there are no chances of recovery, then definitely euthanasia can be considered. So one such example is like giving morphin. So morphin is a form of a drug which can be given to the patient, so that morphin, the injections, so that the person dies peacefully without going into relentless pain anymore. So I am here talking about active euthanasia. So one is passive euthanasia, in which the person is left to die by discontinuing the medicines, but I am talking about the active euthanasia in which certain drug, certain medicine is given so that the person is no more alive, like extra dose of painkillers can be given to practice this one. So let's read out the statement now. So euthanasia or mercy killing has been in the news more and more recently. So euthanasia या फिर mercy killing तरस ते भावना नाल किसे नू मारना because that person is suffering from pain is in the news more and more recently. So many people are strongly against such a practice. So कुछ लोग हैं जो strongly against इस practice दे कि वो सोचते हैं कि euthanasia is a non-humanitarian act and it should definitely not be followed. But there is a growing demand to have it legalized as well. But at the same time, some individuals in the society are present which want this to be legalized. How far do you agree or with euthanasia being made legal? So how far the students agree that the euthanasia should be made legal? So it's an agree disagree essay. And the third option can be partially agree, because in the question itself it is saying that how far do you. So a partially agree option definitely exists. Okay, let's start. So now I'll explain the essay in short bullet points, and definitely the students have to make proper sentences to write it down. Let's start with the background first. So background is like whatever the topic of the essay is, a general statement or hook statement to attract the attention of the examiner is the background statement. So in the contemporary era, contemporary means modern. So modern world, modern era. The advancement in technology has led to invention of various types of techniques to save the life of a patient with life-threatening condition. So definitely advancement in technology has made a great difference to the healthcare system of all the countries around the world. So saving the life of the patient has become more easier in case of many diseases. So we have taken a general example that how technology has made a difference. So we connected healthcare system with technology, because technology is such a phenomena which can be connected with anything out there, with business, with healthcare, with education, anything. Let's move to paraphrasing. So paraphrasing means writing the statement which was given above, that euthanasia or mercy killing has been more in the news recently, writing that statement in your own words. So instead of euthanasia or mercy killing, I have used these words. Clinically assisted death or assisted suicide has been a disputable, controversial या फिर debatable issue or topic in the media for several years. Instead of euthanasia, we wrote clinically assisted death or suicide, which has been in the news. Anything which comes in the news is definitely disputable, or it is a national issue. So it has been in the media. Instead of news, we wrote media for several years. There are many disagreements, so many people are against euthanasia being made legal related to this practice, but still there is increase in request to make it authorized. Instead of legalized, we have used authorized. So there are disagreements as well, but as well as some individuals in the society support this practice as well. Thesis, I will go with the partially agree option because I don't think that it is a completely positive one. So if it needs to be practiced in particular country, then there should be certain laws and rules on behalf of which this can be practiced. So partially agree option would be a good option. So in the body paragraph 1, we will go in support of euthanasia and give the points for agree side, and in the body paragraph 2, the points will be given for the disagree side. So one more benefit of going on the partially agree side is that in the two body paragraphs, we have two different options. So half points can be written on the agree side and half points can be written on the disagree side. But if a student goes completely agree or completely disagree, then two body paras need to be covered with one single opinion. So how come a student can figure out so many of these points? So this one is a better option to consider. So let's move to the body paragraph 1, in which I will go with the agree side. So whenever you start with the paragraph, body paragraph 1 or body paragraph 2, connectors are of great importance in an essay. So to commence with, to embark with, to commence, embark means begin. So to begin with, if the patient is on life support, which causes endless, relentless pain and distress to the patient and the family members. So euthanasia should be made legal in the case if the person is on life support, like if the person is on ventilator, then the chances of survival are quite low, or if the person is on the age of 90 above, then also same is the case. So instead of giving that person relentless pain, it's better to just end the life of the patient, and it will definitely cause less distress to the family members as well as the patients. So first point can be this one, in support of the patient, that how euthanasia can be beneficial for the patient. Second, helps to save time and money of the patient's family spent on incurable or untreatable disease. So second point we have written in consideration with the family of the patient, that it will help to save the time, money. So time, obviously, if a family member is admitted to the hospital, then all other family members need to be there for his or her take care. And money, obviously healthcare system is definitely so expensive these days, so a loads of money would be spended, an exorbitant price would be cost out by them. So but that all will be in vain because the disease is incurable, like AIDS, cancer, 4th stage. So if in that condition the patient is, definitely euthanasia should be taken into consideration. So first point we wrote in support of the family patient, second point we wrote in support of the family members, that how this can be a benefit. So if we have agreed, then also we need to prove it to the examiner that why the student has agreed, and if disagreed, then why, what are the reasons, what are the proofs behind that. Third, it will be beneficial for the country where hospitals remain full of such patients with no hope of cure or who are just occupying space. So like in COVID-19 pandemic. So in COVID-19 pandemic, mostly hospitals were not admitting old patients who are above 80 or above 90 who were suffering any normal diseases and having no chances of cure. So they were concentrating more on the COVID-19 patients who were having better chances of cure, and definitely youth was also affected by COVID. So it's better to save the youth instead of spending money and time and even space of the hospitals on old persons. So it will be beneficial for the country. So country ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ stress है money ਦਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ज़्यादा patients होंगे, obviously country will get affected more. Healthcare system of the country will get disturbed. But if the patients are less, then obviously country will benefit from the same. So we have given a particular example that how space saving from such conditions, from such patients has been beneficial recently in the past. So this is the third point. So first point in regards to patients, second for family, and third for the country. So three different sections have been targeted. Okay, let's do one example. So example in an essay can make a great difference to the band score. So definitely do consider writing example in each essay. So example for this one is that Switzerland, Belgium and Netherlands have already legalized some forms of euthanasia. So morphin is a single form of euthanasia. There are different types of euthanasia, active, passive, and particular drugs are also there. So they have legalized some forms of euthanasia. So in India, euthanasia is not a legal practice. So many patients suffer because of that as well. Okay, let's move to the body paragraph 2, which is the disagree side. Okay, first point. It will be non-humanitarian act or it violates the human right. Government should spend money to treat these kinds of life-threatening diseases. So definitely if a person is given a drug and killed, then it's violating the human rights. It's a non-humanitarian act. So government ਨੂੰ spend करना चाहिए इस तरह दियां threatening diseases ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ, because obviously if a person is 80 years old, he or she has served the nation for like 60-70 years. So he or she has paid the tax, so this much is deserved by the old person. Second point would be that every human being has the right to live. So only God can take the life of any living being. No other person has the right to kill anyone. So it should be God's choice of killing. So it should be definitely left on God. If birth is left on God, whenever God's will is there, then only baby is born. So why not in case of killing? So definitely this responsibility should be shifted to God. Humans should not take a charge of that one. So first 2 points we have written in general, like in case of like what are the ethics. So moral ethics की duties है, moral ethics की है ethical values, moral values which need to be taken into consideration before making euthanasia a legal practice. Third point is, which can be of huge importance specifically in third world countries, in developing countries like India. So people will misuse this practice and will use this as a weapon for old and ill persons. So even a patient could be victimized for property too, which will be extremely unethical. So people these days are extremely materialistic. So materialism is very common. So materialism basically means that when the material possessions are more important than the emotional values. So emotions to ज़्यादा material possessions या physical comfort important हो जाए किसी individually, then the individual is materialistic. So everybody most of the times here in this world are materialistic at this point. So even a patient can be victimized for property too, which will be extremely unethical. So as I have mentioned earlier, that in case of ethical values, this will be extremely unethical practice. So let's just conclude the third body paragraph. So first 2 points we have written in general that what needs to be taken in care in case of moral values, and third point was a practical one, that what can actually be a misuse, a negative, a demerit of euthanasia being made legal. So let's read out the conclusion now. So in the conclusion, definitely start that in conclusion, agglomerating all the points. Agglomerating means that just the collection, the summary of all the points. So it should be applicable to life-threatening diseases only and not in all cases. So euthanasia, if it's made legal, then it should be applicable to only life-threatening diseases such as AIDS, cancers, not the normal cases, and should be properly implemented by the government. So what I am trying to say in the conclusion is that there is no harm to make euthanasia a legal practice, because definitely it can benefit some individuals, it can benefit some old persons from that relentless, endless pain. So it can save them a lot, and moreover it will help the family members as well. But to avoid the misuse, to avoid the negative effects of euthanasia, definitely it should be properly implemented by the government. So a proper law should be there, terms and conditions should be there, that in which condition euthanasia should be applicable and in which conditions euthanasia should not be applicable. So if when a law is made, there are certain terms and conditions below that law. So those terms and conditions should make it very clear that which can be done, implemented, and which cannot be implemented. So here I conclude the essay. So if you have any doubts, you can definitely ask me in the comment section and I will answer it to you. Any point, if that's an issue to any student, you can definitely leave a comment below and I will answer it personally. So don't forget to like the video, that will make a great difference and give me motivation as well. So do hit the subscribe button as well, and don't forget to press the bell icon, because that will notify you instantly whenever we post a video. Thank you so much. I will leave the PDF of this essay in written, these bullet points which I was displaying on the screen, in written in the description box. So do have a look at that and you can definitely refer to it. Moreover, I will leave the Instagram and Facebook handles of our institute, Conation Academy. So you can definitely follow us there as well. We are regularly updating new ideas, new words, anything which is important for your IELTS preparation in there. Thank you.